We met with Chef Anthony of StoneChef Catering, a specialist in fusion cuisine.
We specialize in fusion. Okay, so we're taking different techniques and foods that are indigenous to our area and giving them like a Polynesian twist, if you will, or sometimes even a French or an Italian twist. It's kind of our staple of food that we do.
Let's now see his segment.
Tonight we have a seafood linguine. It is shrimp, scallops, lobster over linguine with a saffron cream sauce. Start with some shiitake mushrooms. Now we're going to do a little bit of the basil chiffonade. We're going to stack it. We're going to roll it. Basil chiffonade is basil that's stacked, rolled, and then sliced very thin. And the reason why we do that as opposed to chopping it is so that it stays stringy and it allows itself to have more flavor throughout the dish. We're going to do a little bit of garlic. We're going to try to shave this very thin. Then we're going to take the lobster tail. This is the main lobster tail. This is a 6-ounce lobster tail. We're going to go ahead and split this in half, and we are going to saute this in the shell. So what we're going to do is we're going to get our pan hot, because it's always better to start with a hot pan. Then we'll add our olive oil. We'll saute up the garlic, and we'll add the lobster tails in there because they take the longest to cook. And then we'll add the basil chiffonade, the rest of the seafood, and deglaze it with some white wine. We'll add a little extra virgin olive oil. Collect the garlic. We're going to saute that up a little bit. We just want to saute it nicely. We don't want to brown it because it'll brown on its own while it's in there. So we'll just get the oil nice and flavored. Drop the lobster tails in. We're putting the meat down, so it's going to sear the meat first. So that way it stays nice and moist inside. So we have the shrimp. We have 1620s peeled into vein. And then we have our scallops. You want to make sure that when you're doing the scallops, you pull off the muscle. You don't want the muscle in there because it gets really tough and it's very tart. Add the basil and the shiitake mushrooms. Deglaze it with wine. So we have our shrimp, our shiitake mushrooms, our lobster tails. We've got them sauteing very nicely. You can see that the lobster tail is now bright red, so it's almost cooked. It's almost where it needs to be. The scallops are nice. They look nice and tender. The shrimp, when the shrimp start to turn a little more pink like the lobster did, then we'll know that they're done as well. Okay, we need to put the fresh saffron in there, so we're going to chop that up a little bit. The finer that you chop the saffron, it's easier to spread throughout the dish. So we're going to put that in there. Now we're going to add the heavy cream. So we'll let that simmer and let it reduce down. We have a fresh linguine that we made. With it being fresh pasta, you just want to boil it for a couple minutes. Our dish calls for a sea salt finish. Okay, so instead of putting the salt in the dish while we're cooking it, we're going to top it off with a Hawaiian sea salt. Asiago cheese. Okay, and then this is the Hawaiian sea salt. This is a red Hawaiian sea salt. And then if you like, we can finish off with some fresh cracked pepper. Here's our dish.